Her name is Carmela.
Okay. This is Devin.
What up?
We are 2/3 of Bloodbought Bride,
Mm-hmm.
and we are releasing Author of Time, our first full-length album.
Yep. And if you don't believe us, this we're on board.
So we're here to just like talk about the album overall.
Talk about the album.
Talk about individual songs.
Correct.
So
Correct.
how would you summarize Author of Time if you were to like?
I'm going to summarize it a lot differently than you.
Okay.
Probably because I would summarize it as an album of 10 songs of alternative Christian music. But I don't have like a crazy attachment to any of the songs because I didn't write them. I just produced them. So how would you well, maybe you define the same way.
These were some songs that I made with my laptop and my Niggy in my bedroom. Before I met you, before I got married to you.
One of them though you wrote here.
One of them I wrote here.
Which one is it?
Oaks of Memory.
Oaks of Memory.
Memory. Yeah, but the other ones I did before. So yeah, they're not. So we want to do music that is different from this, like that can be recorded by over that has live instruments and stuff. All of this it's very synthy.
Yeah.
It's very ambient.
It's alt.
Yeah.
Sort of glitchy. A lot of.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of telephone filters.
There's like greasy lo-fi.
Yeah.
At different points. Very like poetic lyrics. Reflective. But basically the purpose of the album is to explore the role of God as an author of time. No duh. Right. But like also it's kind of like a elevated sad girl poetry. But but in like themes, refinement process, worshiping God through difficulty, submitting to his will, dealing with sin, identity, stuff like that. It's gonna make more sense when we start talking about the songs. Correct. But I feel like that's like a decent-ish overview. It feels more like an album for like a solo artist than for a band. Yeah. Which makes sense.
Right. Because you did 95% of the music and 100% of the vocals.
Yes.
I did almost none of the music. I think I did none of it. Zero.
You added flavors though and stuff. Yeah.
What flavor did I add?
Well,
it was ice cream.
We'll get into it when we're getting into like individual songs.
I hope it's black raspberry.
I was thinking black raspberry.
Amen. For me, like I learned so much from recording. Well, actually, we did record some of it here, but most of it was original recordings from your old house on your microphone in your bedroom. So a lot of the recordings were not very high quality, and I really learned a lot about mixing vocals through that process. Even the stuff that we re-recorded here was not good. So, slap a telephone filter on everything, makes it sound kind of bad on purpose.
Yeah, it was totally on purpose.
It was all on purpose, yeah.
I think also, too, this is an album where it's like we're openly sharing our phase as like feeling like intermediate musicians. And we basically made a deliberate decision to put stuff out even though basically none of the songs are
right. So that's one of my favorite things about it is like it's called Author of Time. Yeah. And you sort of unintentionally just didn't use a click or a time or anything in any of the songs.
I mean, I knew that like I like told myself, I was like, oh, I'll use a click. I'll use a click later. I'll fix it later. And then it doesn't really work structurally with a lot of what I was doing. Yeah. So the process was basically I kind of would just show up and hope that the Lord would like bless what I was doing. So I would sit down. I would either start with like a melody and then I would write lyrics and then I would put notes to those lyrics, or I would just have like the song in my head and go from there. But the purpose really wasn't to make these songs like able to be duplicated. It was more of just they feel very much like diary entries. Yeah. We say that about everything, but I think like especially with the specific themes that I was exploring, like there's so many of them, like I attribute them to moments, not necessarily like a specific day, specific time this was happening.
Sure, like a little phase of life, a season of life.
I mean, this is super this is like Author of Time is in my mind associated with so
Yeah. Hey, man. Um, we're gonna go into more detail about specific songs later, but what's the oldest song on the album? So Oaks of Mamre is the newest one because you recorded that after we got married.
Mm-hmm.
So like within the last couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the oldest song on the album? Thinking Place?
Thinking
Yeah,
Place. I was probably like 17 when I wrote it.
that's crazy to me.
17,
Yeah.
18-ish, something like that. I was a teenager. So I was at like 2 houses before that.
Yeah.
And then also I wanted to ask, like, what was it like for you as a producer, like being given this whole album, not really knowing anything about it, and then
Yeah.
trying to figure your way out?
Yeah. I mean, so it's basically like for one, everything you did was in GarageBand. And so I had to go into all 10 of the GarageBand um sort of projects, take all the effects off everything, and then mark the time of everything and import everything. Like nothing was in time, so nothing made sense at all where it was. And I had to bring everything into Ableton Live. Um, and then I just kept being like, what time signature is this? What? How is this? How do I align all this? But like, it honestly worked out with the genre of music that it is. Everything's kind of like squishy and like it's kind of okay. It works. If this was like dance music, it wouldn't work really, but like it was fine. I think working on it in general, it was sort of fun. It was so like growing up, we had this like really old candy store in my town called Zeb's, and you could go to Zeb's and they sold just like they're called grab bags, and it's just like a paper bag, like a brown paper bag, and you don't know what's in it. And then you just reach in and you get what you get. That's kind of what it was like working on the songs initially. Some of them I didn't even hear. You're like, this is the album, and I'm like, I know like like one third of those songs like for you. So like a lot of them I was listening to them for the first time, and I was like, okay, now I gotta like make this work. And I mean, a lot of these songs I heard for the first time just a few months ago, so I wish I knew exactly when. But I've loved it honestly. Like it's so like this is the first full length album we've released, and we've released two EPs, Blazing and Mercy's Song, and then we've released a couple like singles, although nothing like really big. Like this is by far the biggest project we've done. It's taken quite a lot of time to work on, and it's been good. I mean, I think like I've really surprisingly like with someone who's outside of the music producing realm might not realize, but like as a producer, you can put a lot of your own creativity into the song. Like I don't feel disconnected at all from the songs in terms of like making it sound, my artistic desires were totally met and expressed in those songs, which is pretty crazy because it's not like I didn't write a single note, I didn't write a melody, nothing. But I think also because of the type of music it is, the type of genre, I don't know what genre it is. Um, I got to express myself a lot in that. How was it for you, like giving it over to me? It's sort of like I don't know, a kid's first day in school. As the mother, I have to be like, all right, bye, like take care of my kid. Hopefully, like
Yeah.
you don't kill them, you know?
I mean, I think you were ordained for this
Yeah,
by the Lord. I think it was totally in his will to basically anoint you to work on these songs. And there was a really big shift in forming this band because I realized I was like, okay, I'm no longer the head of this.
yeah,
Someone has to be the head. We're also in a marriage, and I believe in biblical headship.
correct.
So, and also like that wasn't something that was too difficult because you have been the one making everything happen. I'm very good at putting work into things and then sitting on them and never sharing them with people. And so, but also even more than that, it's like the realization that like these aren't my songs. They
Yeah,
belong to the Lord.
yeah,
Like none of it is ours. So who am I to like have make it completely about my preference? So I think that in terms of what you even gravitate towards and what you like, it works.
yeah,
You know, like you're not you weren't like a hip hop producer for like 10 years before doing this, you know. And so it's kind of like this worked out pretty
yeah,
well. I think it's also difficult for us, I think, to put a genre to the music that we're doing because there's so much variety.
yeah,
I mean, a lot of it is ambient, a lot of it is very simpy for sure, but in terms of other stuff that we've been working on as a band or that we've done, it's like, oh, like, it's like this sounds like a worship set at like a Pentecostal
yeah,
church at like noon, or this sounds like you're doing prophetic art in the
yeah,
background, or this
right.
sounds like some ambient playlist on Spotify.
Mhm.
Um, that like there it's And then also we have other stuff that's like gonna be leaning more like rock or
Yeah.
whatever that we do.
Right.
And so, where was I going with this? Basically, what I'm saying is like this album is not a sharp indication of all that we are in the
Correct.
band or all that we're gonna
Right.
bring.
Yeah.
The next one is gonna be super different
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
But it was a really big deal to put this album out because it's like the what's the word? It's basically like the full realization of these songs.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's like they're being sent off and that
Yeah.
something is finally being done with them. So
Mm.
I think that you did a really incredible job given what you were given to work with. You were super patient with me throughout it. There was also like a growing process for
Yeah.
for both of us to learn together and how to communicate about this.
Yeah.
So we have a third member of our band. His name is Viggy. That's
Yeah.
Devin's stepdad. That's my father-in-law.
Love
We love you. And he's not on this podcast because he wasn't like this. He wasn't really as involved in this one.
No.
Because more so it's like when the three of us like are on instruments together and like playing together. That's what he's involved in. So this was basically a personal project.
Yeah. Sort of.
That
Yeah.
like I had been trying to learn to produce.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna do all of it on GarageBand because like I didn't have money for Ableton at the time, and
And your learning process was kind of like throwing eggs at a wall.
pretty much. I also like it was pretty. It's not something that comes naturally to me. Like you had a whole background as a programmer for years before this.
Yeah.
You pick up on the technical skills a lot faster than I do, and so it was something where I was trying, but I and as much as like I enjoyed the being able to like have more creative control and figure things out, it was pretty difficult for me to do that.
Yeah.
It felt really slow going, and also there was a lot of stuff conceptually that just wasn't clicking for me in terms of like I basically was copy pasting what I was seeing other people do. Like I didn't, which isn't it's not the way
Which
to
is
go.
basically never the way to go when
Yeah.
it comes to producing, especially if you want anything that's like your own original stuff, then it's not gonna work. Yeah. Even like EQing or like everything, every part of all of it, it's like you can understand like, okay, a lot of the time vocals all the same, like vocal chain will have the same elements in a row, but then like all that stuff has to be tweaked differently per song, per specific vocal track, so I think like also for you being in that situation, like it's kind of lonely to be like like a solo musician, like doing from beginning to end every single part of it is like kind of sucks. And I'm super happy that the Lord brought us together when he did and he gave us like complementary skill sets where
Yeah.
everything you're good at, I'm not that good at, and everything you're not that good at, I'm good at. And we can do either way. Like you could do your whole album, I could do my own whole album.
But
But
it's better to
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, amen.